Out of chapter 17, and then we're going to share a few verses out of chapter 18. Genesis 17, beginning in verse 1, said, When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abram and said to him, I am Almighty God. Walk before me and be blameless. I will make my covenant between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. Then Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be a father of many nations. No longer shall your name be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham. For I have made you a father of many nations. Then God said to Abraham, As for Sarai, your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. I will bless her and also give you a son by her, and then I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be from her. Then Abraham fell on his face, laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? Verse 22 of chapter 17. Then he finished talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. Now going over to Genesis chapter 18, beginning in verse 2. So he lifted his eyes, and he looked, and behold, 3 men were standing by him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them, and bowed himself to the ground, and said, My Lord, if I have now found favor in your sight, do not pass on by your servant. Please let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. I will bring a morsel of bread, that you may refresh your hearts. After that you may pass by, inasmuch as you have come to your servant. They said, Do as you have said. And then they said to him, Where is Sarah, your wife? So he said, Here in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And behold, Sarah, your wife, shall have a son. And Sarah was listening in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in age, and Sarah had passed the age of childbearing. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I have grown old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? Verse 13, And the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I surely bear a child since I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. I want to preach and teach for a little while on this thought. Mirror, mirror on the wall, I see myself favored most of all. How do you see yourself this morning? You see, when God told Abraham and Sarah that they were going to have a child, they were both well beyond childbearing years. No wonder Sarah laughed, and she must have said, Well, Abraham, what are you talking about? When the Lord appeared to him and spoke to him and told him what was going to happen, and he told Sarah, she said, What are you talking about, Abraham? Have a child. I'm an old woman. I don't think so. I don't believe that's going to happen. God had to change their image of themselves before they could ever have the child. How did God do that? How did He change their image? How did He change their outlook? He changed their names to begin with. He changed the words that they were hearing. You say, well, what are you talking about, Pastor? Look at this with me. When He changed Sarai to Sarah, it meant princess. When He changed Abram to Abraham, it meant father of many nations. Now think about it. Before Abraham had a single child, God had called him by faith the father of many nations. Every time somebody said, "Hey Abraham, how you doing today?" they were saying, "Hello, Father of many nations." They were saying, "Hello, Father of many nations. How you doing, Father of many nations?" Every time his name was spoken, it was speaking his